Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine. Tiffany Parra, editor-in-chief. Happy Mental Health Month, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in my special guest, and he's going to boogie with me a little bit. What's going on, Jeffrey? He's got his happy juice in his hand, y'all. Right on, yes. Because I'm happy if you feel like
My
happiness.
favorite song.
Yes. Oh my goodness, goodness, goodness. Happy Monday. Happy Mental Monday. Happy Mental Health Month as well. Welcome, Jeffrey. Welcome once again.
Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness. I'm so happy to have you here. Jeffrey is one of our contributing writers, if you did not know. And let me go ahead and just bring up some information here on Jeffrey. So, Jeffrey is a certified holistic health coach, and he has some really awesome and amazing information he's going to give y'all today. So, Jeffrey, let's go ahead and let's just get on into it. What is the history of Mental Health Month?
So first, I want to thank you. Before I start with that, I want to thank you for being on your show again today. And I always have fun with you. You've got so much energy.
You
It's
too.
amazing. It's amazing. But always love sharing this space with you, and we'll continue to do so moving forward because we have lots to communicate and lots to share with
We
those
do.
people out there who are really looking. So yeah, absolutely. The history of mental health, has been an evolution, if you will. And there's a lot of information out there. I find some of it, but and others really interesting. But let's start out with the historical views, basically with mental health. Started early on in recorded history, assuming that it was mental illness and it was a product of supernatural and demonic possession. And then we've seen movies about this stuff, and
Right.
it really led to primitive treatment practices, which was one of the practices was trepanning, and this is it. It was trepanning to ward off spirits. And trepanning is actually drilling a hole into your head so the spirits and whatever can come out.
Mhm.
And this was, the early on stages of, and actually the first kind of known surgeries to happen back in those days. And I did come across an article where the oldest surgical practices were discovered. There was a skull discovered in the Neolithic burial site in France, and it's over 7,000 years old. That's what they predicted this skull was. So, but what I thought was interesting was that there are references to mental health as a state. It's considered a state that can be found. It's actually found in the English language, and it's been there before the 20th century in technical references, but it was never a form of a field, if you will, a field of study, a practice. And this didn't happen until 1946. So it's like, what happened before that? Well, we know kind of what happened. It was the drills and then throwing them in behind bars, so forth and so on. But the treatments weren't around. We come around to the World Health Organization, and the World Health Organization really conceptualizes that mental health is basically a state of well-being in the
Mhm.
individual, and for that individual to realize that they can cope with the normal stresses of life. And stresses of life, they're there all the time. It's
Right.
also about being aware of how you can work productively and fruitfully in your daily life, and then also be able to make a contribution to his or her own community. And this was done in 1948. So that's kind of when it really started, was 1948, when things started to formalize. And
Mhm.
then in 1949 is when the Mental Health America organization created the Mental Health Awareness Month. And it started in 1949. And here we are, 2022, still celebrating Mental Health Month, which I think should be every single month.
Yeah. No,
You know?
you're absolutely right. I mean, especially in the state that we are in
Yeah.
today.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Exactly.
so much depression and anxiety and things like that out there. And it all needs to be addressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah. So much is going on, and especially in the last 2 years. It's just compounded in the last 2 years.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's so crazy because, you go through a lot of these different stresses and things. And you and I have spoken before, even for myself in my own journey, you're working and you're doing all these things and you don't even realize that it's weighing on you until something physically happens to you.
Correct.
Right? You
Yep.
start to get sick. For myself, I was having panic attacks in my sleep. I was waking up in the middle of the night, like, not, trying to figure out what's going on, heart
Right.
racing, all that stuff. And it was really just from the stress that I
Yeah.
was enduring. So I think it's really about just, knowing your body, right?
Oh, big time. Absolutely. It's so important. It's so important because we are the best knowledge. We are the only people that know what our body is going through and
Yeah,
what it can tolerate.
yeah,
So
right. If you feel a little off, don't ignore it, right?
exactly, it's telling you something. The body
Yeah,
is telling you something, and just don't ignore it. So
yeah, yeah, that
absolutely.
happens way too much, way too much. So tell, what is the microbiome? What is that? Breaking it down for our listener, just to like in the specifics of its contents.
Sure. So, I've talked about the microbiome being the gut brain heart axis. But today I thought I would break it down a little bit more for the listeners because this is really a significant, system that we have that really helps and helps us understand where mental health is stemming from, and it's really stemming from the gut health. The microbiome is the gut, the brain, and the heart. We have three brains,
Yeah.
and this is something that I'm passionate about because of my own journey, which I've
Mhm.
shared. I'm not going to get into that now, but I want to take people into a little bit deeper perspective. Instead of microbiome 101, it's
Yeah.
microbiome 102, and giving you some of the details. So basically, if you don't know, there are trillions of microbes that exist primarily in our intestines and our skin. And they're also throughout, the lungs and in different aspects of the body, but primarily in the gut, which is where this is. And most of these microbes are in your intestine and they're found in pockets.
Mhm.
Okay. And this is where the gut microbiome is, that's the foundation. And although many different types of microbes that live in our body, bacteria are now starting to be researched. Okay. And where we are with science today, we can research these little critters to find out, what are you guys doing down there? Why are you so important?
Right.
And because there's more bacteria in our body than there are cells.
Mhm.
So, I think of those that show critters living inside you. Well, yeah, we do have critters, and it seems a little scary, but it's a reality. They've been there
Right.
since the beginning of time, Adam and
Right.
Eve. So but there are about 40 trillion bacterial cells,
Wow.
and bacterial cells versus 30 trillion human cells. All right. But there are more viruses. We have a virome. So there's more viruses than there are bacteria.
Mhm.
But what I found mind blowing is that out of those 40 trillion bacterial cells, what they've been able to isolate is 1,000 strains, or 1,000 species, I should say, 1,000 species of bacteria. So I'm
Wow.
thinking, oh my gosh, if there's 1,000 that they've already discovered, how many more are there that we don't even know about? All right.
Right.
So in each of these, what's really interesting is that we're just starting to scratch the surface of this
Mhm.
science, and each of these individual species have their own unique role. So you've heard about the ant farms or the ant colonies and the bee colonies. They have the
Yeah.
worker bees, the worker ants. They all have their own responsibilities. Same thing with these. So, and this is what we're discovering, and that's something I'm going to share, in a little bit, about the specificity in regards to this. But we also know that there are microbes that are good microbes. But then there are bad microbes, and those bad microbes can potentially cause disease. And this is what we're finding out, that is what is happening. So we're trying to educate people to get more of the good stuff, the good buddies in you, and get rid of more of the bad buddies that we don't need.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
now to do that, how, like, what would you tell someone? How would they do that? You know, if they want to balance that bad and that good, you know, just give some of our listeners just a few examples of how they can do that.
yeah, so I mean, there are tests out there today that you can get some results, and they can tell you the the levels of degrees in regards to the good bacteria that you have and the bad bacteria. So you can start out with testing. You can start looking at your current lifestyle. What are you eating? All right, and what are you consuming, and what is your lifestyle as far as exercise, nutrition, stress management, and even supplementation, because unfortunately we do need supplementation because of the depleted microbiome that is in our earth. The earth's microbiome has been depleted because of the chemical preservatives that are sprayed on our plants. So it's really looking at a bigger picture. And to start out easy is look at the foods that you're eating, because if you're eating boxed foods, canned foods, and processed foods and fast food restaurants, that all of those foods are breaking down the gut integrity. You're breaking down the lining of your gut, which opens up Pandora's box to be able to go off into a plethora of all types of diseases. And for those that don't know, the gut lining is it's one cell layer thick. And you look at the gut wall as think of a brick wall. The red bricks are the cells, and the mortar in between is the lining. And you break down that lining between those cells, and then everything in your gut seeps out into your bloodstream. And that's where things start. And I mean, that's where you would start simply looking at the foods and getting away from all those types of foods. And what you put in here goes down to here, and it will affect your entire body. So you are what you eat is coming true.
And it really is. It really is. I mean, I know when I, sometimes if I do my cheat days or something, and I eat like a candy bar or something like that, I don't feel good. If I drink a soda, stuff like that, it makes me feel off. So I like to stick to the veggies and the fruits and things like that for sure. So definitely everybody, if you're having gut issues, look at your diet first for sure. Because I hear so many people always talking about leaky gut. You hear that all the time, leaky gut, right? So
pretty much everybody does. And Tiffany, you said about those cheat days. I have cheat days too, and it's okay just so long as you come back and circle around and get back to the good stuff. But same as you, when I eat that crap, I feel like crap, Right. Yeah. But what's interesting is as time goes on, I'm weaning myself away. It's like, oh, the last time I had that, this is what happened. Okay, I'm not going to do it. So it's a learning process.
It's conscious about it. Like, okay, I don't like the way my stomach feels when last time I ate that. No, I'm good, right?
Yeah, exactly. You learn it, and it's progression. You're building good habits along the way.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. You are. So, how is the gut microbiome related to our mental health?
So this is where science is really coming into the forefront of mental wellness. And as I mentioned, that we have that microbiome, and those little critters down there, those 1,000 species have specific jobs, but we're now getting down to the strain level of microorganisms. And what is that? What is it doing? So when we talk about species and strains. So in science, you have the genome. All right, that's the top of the chain there. Then that genome is broken down into species, and then those species are broken down into strains. And I'm talking specifically about probiotics. Okay, we've gotten down to that third level of understanding about the specificity of probiotics that are important to our mental health. And the Microbiome Project started in 2006, and now over the last 4 to 5 years, they've been publishing their scientific research, their clinical studies in scientific and medical journals, and we are capturing the essence of that science and master formulating these products using indigenous plants from all over the world. So to get to us, into that 102 microbiome. So let's take this a probiotic. It's lactobacillus, which is a common probiotic for most people. But you get down to that's the genome. The species is the rhamnosus, and then the strain is R0011. And this specific strain, it actually reduces stress by lowering cortisol exposure and improves GABA neurotransmitters. And cortisol is a steroid hormone that, our adrenal glands produce. Okay. And it affects several aspects of your body, and mainly it regulates your body's response to stress. And then we've got the GABA, which is the gamma aminobutyric acid. And this is a natural occurring amino acid that works as a neurotransmitter in our brain. Okay, and the neurotransmitters basically, again, is a chemical messaging system. Our gut is one big, massive communication highway. All right, and it's considered that it, an inhibitory neurotransmitter that really blocks and it blocks or it inhibits certain brain signals and decreases the activity in your nervous system. So it kind of monitors your, those aspects of what's going on with your nervous system. Mm-hmm. All right. And then the next one is Bifidobacterium longum R0175. This enhances calmness by decreasing anxiety indices and improves cognitive function. So we've heard about cognitive behavior, but cognitive function really includes a variety of mental processes such as perception and attention and memory, decision making and language comprehension. So cognitive function really, it serves as a critical role in everyday behavior and our everyday behavior and social behavior, because you got your behavior by yourself and then that social behavior. And then the last one here is the Lactobacillus helvetica R0052, and this improves mood by decreasing neuroinflammation and increasing serotonin. Okay, so serotonin is a chemical that nerve cells produce. It's a chemical that our nerve cells produce, okay? And it sends signals between your nervous systems, the nerve cells. It sends those signals off to the nerve cells. And the serotonin is found mostly where? In our gut. That is where 90% of our neurotransmitters and hormones are created in our gut. And, although it's also in blood platelets and throughout the central nervous system, serotonin is, made from these essential amino acids within our gut. So, and this is kind of where I bring to the purpose of why I wanted to get into that 102, because we have elements in our body. We've got cells, we've got microbes, we've got viruses, and then we've got all the other bodily systems and functions. They produce their own chemicals to work synergistically together to allow us to thrive. Right. And when we start introducing man-made chemicals like Prozac, Seraphin, Paxil, these are all chemical man-made synthetics introducing to our bodies to create more serotonin. Well, why not create our own serotonin by using plants? Yeah. And plants were put here for a reason. And that's what I'm trying to really get across to people, is that there are plants out there that do the same thing and better than man-made pharmaceuticals. These plants have been here since the beginning of time.
And they do it without the side effects.
Exactly. Now with that, I always have to throw this in, because there are some people who have adverse reactions to plants. All right. And you just need to find out what those plants are. All right. But for the most part, I mean, the majority of people are good with plants. And this is what our body is craving. This body temple is craving those plants to nourish the cells, to nourish the microbes, to nourish the viruses that are in our body. All right. To live, to live really a healthy life. And this is what we need to get back to.
Yeah.
And get more people educated, because you know, think about before the 1900s, there were farmers. We had little towns, little shops, and they were all thriving. Yeah, they got sick here and there, but then we come into the 1900s, big pharma, the FDA is formed, and then the industrialization of canned foods, box foods, and that progression. And then you've got Monsanto creating glyphosate through which is a chemical in Roundup as an antibiotic, and that was used to inject into the genes of corn and soy. So all those decades we have been consuming all of these bad things. And where are we today? We're messed up.
Right.
We're really messed up, and we need to make change. And we need, and those of us that have, I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I said, I need to do something. And now what I know, I want to share it, because too many people are following this path of, we have broken systems, and these broken systems are squeezing people in and scaring them. If you go outside of it, whatever. But if you're staying here, we got your back. Well, they don't have your back. Sorry. They don't have your back. My doctor wanted to put me on a 6th medication. That's when I said no.
Yeah.
So we have to take control of our own bodies and our own lives, because the systems that are out there are broken. And if you don't make change, bottom line is if you don't start really focusing on your health today, you'll be forced to focus on your illnesses down the road.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh. Change our habits. That's the best thing that I could have done for myself. I was in a lot of pain. I know we've talked about our stories. So it's awful. So May Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay. You are all about it. So tell me, what is the promotion that you all have for May?
So I am going to be continuing with my Happy Juice promotion, because yes, I've reversed my type 2 diabetes and lost 60 pounds and came off of 5 medications, but I've also reduced stress, anxiety, and depression that was at a 10 plus for decades down to a level 1 with absolutely no depression over the last 3 years. And this I call stress resilience. And to have my stress resilience back, you can't put a price on it. And being able to target the gut health to get your stress resilience back, to be able to evaluate a situation or an encounter of anxiety, stress, or depression, to evaluate that rather than react is priceless. And this is something that as I'm in my coaching and talking with more and more people, they're burnt out. They're just burnt out. And what I want to do is I want to help people go from burnout to vigor in 90 days or less. All right. And getting that, and burnout is vigor is the opposite of burnout. And that vigor is more the psychological vigor. What do I mean by psychological vigor? It's that physical energy, emotional well-being, and mental acuity. Bringing those 3 entities together to be able to thrive and to be able to be happy. We need more happy people these days. These last 2 years have brought everybody down, 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 down. However, I will say, since the pandemic, I've been happy, happy, happy. All right. Not because of the pandemic, because my mind, no brain fog, and it's clear. Even last year, being home and 6 deaths in my family, losing my mom, losing my brother. Was I sad? Yes, I absolutely was sad. Did I have some stress? Yes. Was I anxiety? Yes, because I was, the executor of my mom's estate. I was the caretaker for my brother who had stage 4 colon cancer. And so, but I was able to evaluate that, and thinking back to where I was before, I reacted. And that I had an example with I have a twin brother. 3 months after I got cleaned up, I went home, he reacted, and I looked, I'm like, oh my God, that was me like a year ago. And it just really set reality into perspective, saying, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And it's just been getting better and better ever since. So this Happy Juice is really a foundation. It's a start for people. And, with that, in the links, we've got the watermelon flavor, and we just introduced a grape flavor. So you can have watermelon or grape. And then that works on your mood, motivation, and metabolism. And then we have the Mentabiotics, which is addressing those 3 strains of probiotics for gut repair and mental acuity. And then we have a Holistic Energy Plus, which is more of a holistic energy drink that's added to this. You don't have all the sugar highs and the chemical highs and then the crashes.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get you'll get a discount on the package. You'll get a free product. The first 5 people who order will get a free Happy Juice mug. Will be sent, and so that's my promo. And you can also, if you want to reach out to me, I'm willing to provide you a free wellness assessment and a free 30-minute consultation just to see where you're at on the mental wellness continuum. Are you down at a 1, 2, or 3, or are you up at a 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, or 10? Okay, because if you're down here, I can definitely help you get up to here. Okay, if you're at a 10, awesome. So, but there you go.
Stay there. If you're at that 10, just, you got what it takes for sure. So really when you're explaining the Happy Juice, it's a natural way of it's almost like that Red Bull. Oh, bad word to me. Okay. Right. But it's got the same type of, thing that it's going to do for you. It's going to give you that pep in your step and everything, but it's not going to give you all the sugar. It's not going to give you those crashes and all that stuff. And it doesn't have all the chemicals as well. So
exactly. I will say that there is some of our products do have some sugar in it, a little sugar. And me being a diabetic, who was a diabetic, always being conscious of my glucose levels, Dr. Strawn said that it's okay because it's such a low level. The reason for the sugar is because it helps with faster cell absorption. Oh. So, and now we're discovering there are anti-aging factors that we're discovering in this, because now our edge has been out for a full year and we're seeing some different results with it. So it's going to be fun because as we evolve, we're going to be we continue to do science research on all of our products and see, how we can how they're going to be doing over the long period of time.
Oh, I love it. I love the work that you do, Jeff. Man, it's just awesome. So everyone, God, we're almost at 30 minutes already. It's every time we get together, it's like, damn, right? But any special messages for our listeners today, Jeff, before we end up today?
Yeah. So, my business is Abundance and Optimum Wellness. I believe we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Finances today are a huge stressor factor for a lot of people out there. That's number one. Number two is, the what was I going to say? I just had a brain fart. Oh my gosh. I'll throw this in. If you're looking to go from burnout to vigor in 90 days or less, then definitely, reach out to me, because I'm more than happy to, help you along that journey. And Mental Health Awareness Month is really important. Support, listen to people, and encourage. And then the very last thing, which is what I just remembered, is I talked about stepping out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Be open just to get information. It doesn't hurt to get information, because so many people are afraid of information. Like, oh, no, I can't do that because my doctor is saying this and my doctor's saying that. Right. Well, my doctor didn't know everything. Get that information, because then you can look at, this is new information. I've never seen this before. I've never heard about this before. And over here, this is what your doctor's telling you. It's like, now you just weigh out and evaluate for yourself. Yes. All right. Because it's not all down this road here. This road goes like this, and it's it's 360. There's a lot of great information out there. Keep your options open. Just get informed and get enlightened. You'd be surprised how your body changes when you start feeding it the right things.
Right, that's right. It's going to be amazing. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jeff, for joining us today. And
Thank
everyone, if you guys want to check out Jeff, he is one of our contributing writers of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine. He is in there every single month with some very valuable information that's going to help you to seriously elevate your mind, body, and spirit. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. And again, definitely reach out to people, talk to them. If you haven't talked to a friend or a family member in a long time, just pick up the phone, give them a call, text them. That could mean just the world to them. So everyone, we love you so much. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.